Hello and welcome to Car Dealer Live. My name is James Batchelor and today we are talking to the guys behind the highly successful firm Trade to Trade and talking about their operation, used cars and why dealers are loving what they do. Joining me is Trade to Trade's James Vaughan and Ben Mitchell. Hello chaps.
Hi there, how you doing?
Very good, lovely to have you on. Lovely to see you again. James, let's just start with you. Now, plenty of viewers will be very aware of what you do and may well have used the platform. But for those who haven't, just give us a quick explanation of what you guys do and how you can help dealers.
Well, basically, we run an app for selling cars from traders to trade, a trade to trade app. For selling cars to other traders, where you can dispose of your unwanted part exchanges or overage stock. We started with a Facebook group, which has grown to over 10,000 members, and we've got an app that we run with knocking on for 1,800 members now.
Yeah.
Which gives all the push notifications and numerous other things.
Yeah, yeah, and judging by how quickly it's grown, dealers obviously love what you're doing.
Yes, we like to think that we've got a good community behind us, and it is all about the community. So we wouldn't be anywhere without those guys backing us all the way, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really good to see. And it's been great for people like us at Car Dealer to see how quickly you've grown. Really, it's a really great success story, especially in what's been a really troubling year for everybody. Ben, can I just turn to you and just so what's the background of you two guys? Just explain a little bit about the history.
So I've been in the motor trade since I was 17, so coming up to 25 years now. That's quite horrible when you think about it. Hence all the grey hair. But yeah, no, I've been in a dealership environment for quite a long. Well, from up till 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I started my own business, obviously having a forecourt, trading cars, retailing cars, all the rest of it. That's grown quite well. And that's when sort of three and a half years ago, we decided that, you know, there weren't an avenue for us to be able to go down, to be able to sell our part exchanges, whether they be, well, just any kind of stock really that didn't fit our stock profile. So that's why we started the Facebook group. Obviously, we've been running that now for 3 years. The app joined us last year in May. You know, that's how we were able to add to a lot of what we wanted to do to an app, which we couldn't do on Facebook. So that's really what we've managed to do, and being able to run alongside it a community where guys can sort of get involved on there, help each other out, look after each other, you know, and do their best really to sell the cars properly, describing them correctly, pricing them correctly, and really just, you know, really trying to do what we can to encourage all of that as well. You know, and that's how we've progressed with the app in the meantime, is to be able to put all the tools on there to make it as good as possible.
Yeah, and didn't like all the good things in life, didn't the germ of the idea come over by you two guys meeting in the pub and having a drink?
That may be true. Yes, it was only one drink, might I add, but we decided that. Oh God. Are you there, James?
Yeah, we're there.
Just a second, sorry. I've got a call. So yeah, we were talking one evening after a hard day at work, and decided that we really struggled to get rid of the part exchanges that we had, as well as sourcing stock that we needed. So we may know a handful of people that we could sell those cars to. So we decided to set up a small local community of traders that we could offer anything from a Ford Fiesta to a Rolls Royce to. And that was 3.5 years ago when we set that up, and we've grown that one single group to over 10,000 members now. We also have an advice group with over 5,500 members, where people can ask questions, ask for any sort of info, people how to tax a car without a V5, things like that, anything that they can possibly think of. And then within those groups, we have support from companies like logistics, from finance brokers, from insurance companies who have come on board as co-sponsors of our networks. So we've got all those people behind us helping with any bit of information we need. We also developed a transport network as well, which has got 3,500 members on it. And the speed that people are picking their transport jobs is brilliant. So we've got plans to incorporate all these different avenues into our web platforms. So it will all be a lot easier to use. But like I say, there's so much more coming to this. It's unreal. We've got the integration with MotorCheck on the new platform. Oh, I could go on forever, James. We've got so many plans. It's so frustrating that we've had to delay things ever so slightly due to some restrictions. But we are just about there.
Yeah. Well, we'll come on to the redevelopment plans in a second, but I just want to talk a little bit about the Facebook group, because this is the very nature of the group. Really, it's about trust, a lot of it, isn't it? And how much of all of this has by being on Facebook has allowed you to promote trust, because as we know, Facebook is a social media platform, and it's a lot more inclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we quite early on we wanted our core values and people that were using our platform, Facebook page, and whether that be the Facebook page or whether it be the app, we really wanted them to follow what we thought was the right kind of mantra. So we came out with honesty, integrity, and respect. So being able to describe vehicles correctly, that's the honesty side of things, making sure that you do what you can do to sell a car correctly in that way. Integrity, for instance, if somebody jumps on and offers you a car, offers you more money for a car, but it's sold to somebody else, you show that integrity to the person who bought it first. So these are all these kind of things we incorporated into our rules to really try and encourage all of that, and we thought that's how it would how it would successfully grow the business in the correct manner and grow the page in the correct manner. And then the respect side of things, making sure that everyone treats each other with respect for all that can mean. Let's treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. Let's really make some good, strong relationships, and so that you've got your own credibility at stake, your own word at stake, your reputation, and really try and bear that in mind when you're using our platforms. There's only so much we can do to encourage that. Obviously, there's an awful lot of people on the page now, awful lot of people even just on the app as well. So there are an awful lot. We try and encourage that, and there's we do have the support there as well to try and mediate any issues that do arise. Let's face it, we're dealing with used cars. Things can go wrong, they do go wrong, but it's how people mitigate those issues and try and actually make sure that they're doing what they can to help if there is issues, wherever they can help, but obviously not have those issues in the first place. And that's really what we're trying to encourage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lovely to hear that. Now, we last spoke in October. A lot has happened to everybody in that time. How's it? And you guys were sort of creating the app then. I mean, how's it going?
Well, in October, I think we were about 6 months. We're about 4 months into the app. Since then, we've had some app updates, quite a lot of updates to the original app. But now we commissioned the full rebuild of the platform just after October. I think it was November time, which has taken us about 6 months to rebuild and make it so much sleeker, so much faster, and incorporating all the things that we want to bring to the new we're calling it the portal, because it's not just an app anymore. It will be a full-on web portal. So you're able to access it on your phone, any phone, on the computer, on the desktop, all these things that are going to be very important to moving what we do forward. Also, the people, as we know, not everybody is tech savvy. So most of the car dealers now will either be able to log in through, like I say, through the web, through the desktop, or through their phone. So it'll be a lot easier to see it all there on your screen.
Yeah,
a lot easier to use because of that as well.
Yeah, and I suppose that mobile compatibility can really help with dealers. For instance, if they're out and about, perhaps they're at an auction, for example, if we can get back to going to auctions again, by knowing that there could be a potential customer for a particular part exchange, really helps with planning and can really help dealers out, can't it?
I was quite surprised how other major platforms within the industry really don't have a facility to have on your phone.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult, very clunky ways of being able to do it. And I think in this day and age, when most of us are using our phones, there is still a lot of us that use a desktop, and there's a lot of us that prefer a desktop. And that's why we've designed a desktop option. But like you've just said yourself, when you're out and about, you're looking at cars, you're dealing with customers, you can't carry a desktop around with you. You need as much features on your handheld phone as possible, and that's really what we're trying to push. And that's why the app was created in the first place. Obviously, Facebook is an app. We wanted the app to run along the Facebook side of things. But we've designed the desktop now so that people have got something else they can use as well, realizing that there is a need for that. But yeah, you're right. Predominantly, the information that we can provide to traders and features that they can use on their phones is extremely important. We recognise that, and that's something that we'll be really pushing and making sure that all the features, all the benefits are there. So that the app can be as good as possible, and that's really what we are really excited about. That will happen on the new app, on the new platform.
We have it's not stories because it happens every day, but cars sell not in minutes, but cars sell in seconds on the app, and I can't believe I missed that. It's so quick that people are always looking at it. It's deals are done faster now on the app than they ever were on the Facebook page, because the core people are always looking at it, and you get the notifications. You can sort of set what you want to look at, and you'll get a push notification. On the new system, you'll also get an email, and possibly we're looking at this. We may be doing push notifications by text message also. So there's so much that we've got planned, and it's difficult because some people are, I can't believe I've missed another one. And it's constant. I missed another one. You've got to be on the ball. You've got to be looking, because cars are selling. There's a limit to what's out there at the moment anyway. So cars are just flying out. I mean, cars at 100, 200 grand are going in minutes and seconds. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I'll come back to the demand in a second. But I mean, it is proof that people are using their phones, and they want that. They want that information, and they want cars, right this second, don't they? So that's proof really that you're doing the right thing.
That's the stock. Yeah, that's where everybody's scratching. Everybody wants that stock and the right stock. So as quickly as they can say that, as quickly as people can buy that, that's a very good feature to have. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, let's face it, you're two guys in the motor trade. You're very successful in the motor trade. You're not tech or web creators. What challenges have you faced in creating all of this?
How do you know we're not? No, we're absolutely not. We just knew exactly what it is that we wanted, and we had a decent vision. And then obviously we with the partners, with the developers that we've managed to get on board with, they shared our vision. They knew what it is that we wanted, and we managed to create it. It wasn't perfect at the start, certainly wasn't, and because you get a base and you build off it. You're right. Okay, what about that feature? What about this feature? you have ideas all the time on how you can grow it and how you can make it stronger with better features, better benefits. What can it do next? What could we do next? You know, so I think we had 12, 13 updates on the app last year as we went along. That we haven't had an update for a while yet, because obviously we've got the new platform coming out, so all the effort's going into that. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. You're right with what you say. We're not developers.
We are kings of what the developers call the feature creep. So as we're talking, we come up with more and more ideas as we're going along. And then we're like, oh yeah, well, you can do that while you're doing that. And your face just drops, because you can see, and they're like, well, that would take us like 70 hours. And oh no, it's all you got to do is change that bit, because we're used to, or physically, from our point of view, it looks like an easy job, but it's what's behind it that's just crazy. We've got our own team on board. We've got, my brother came on board earlier this year as CTO, so he handles all the tech side. He comes from a tech background, so he's looking after that. He's actually watching to the left there. Giving me a funny look now, but yeah. So he's in charge of that side now, and he runs the developers from his office. So it's also we've got the support team as well. I mean, we've got the girls and guys that help us there, and they are absolutely brilliant. They help us so much and take a lot away from the early days that we had to do everything. I've mentioned this several times before. I think I could have had 5 divorces, because I was always on my phone. And in the early days, before my wife decided she knew what I was doing, she thought I was up to no good, should we say. I think Ben was pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah, you have to educate them so that they don't pack the bags.
Yeah. But it's a 24/7 platform.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. It really doesn't.
Well, we'll park the marriage problems to one side here, and we'll talk a little bit. I just want to talk about the Facebook group now. As you say, the app is in constant development. I mean, could you ever see a time where the app and the platform ever take over from the Facebook group, or will the Facebook group remain an important part of what you do?
The community will always exist, 100% always exist, and we've always said that. That's how it was built, that's where it's come from, and that's what will stay. How we use the Facebook group and how the app will react to it and interact with it is what could possibly change. It really depends on what Facebook develop and how they continue for us to allow the app to interact with the Facebook group, because they seem to change what they're doing quite often. In the last 3 or 4 months, they've changed an awful lot, which has meant that we've had to change the new app as it's being developed. So yeah, it's but we are fully aware of where this started, where it came from, where we came from, and that was the community, and that is something we cherish. Everybody on there, some people, we have new people join us all the time. We've got 1,300 people waiting to join. Okay, we're not in a rush to get more and more people on. We've grown it to 10,000 now. We do believe that that's a decent amount of people to have on board, and it's a lot of people to have on board. So it's we're happy to keep it around that number at the moment. Obviously, we just encourage people to come onto the app. The reason being is because of what the app can offer over and above what Facebook can offer. And that's the key to it is really, and that's why it was developed in the first place. Facebook isn't an automotive platform. We could never make it what we wanted it to be because the facility wasn't there for us. So that's why the app was developed. We can get more involved with people who are on the app, what they do, verify them as being proper traders. Obviously, there's a limited amount of info, whereas we're careful as to who we accept onto the Facebook group. There's only so much we can do with that. So when we move people onto the app, we've got a lot more control over what happens, and also the features, the benefits are far better.
Who they are.
And who they are, yeah.
Through the app, the process that the app, or one of the processes of the app, is to verify who the traders are. and to confirm that they are bona fide motor traders, we have an onboarding process now. So anybody that wants to join our network has to go through an interview, provide ID, which they originally had to provide ID, but now with the onboarding process, they have to be spoken to by a member of the onboarding team. So we sort of 100% verify who they are. But the Facebook group is fantastic. It's got us where we are. During the last lockdown, we had when it was maxed out at 98,000 interactions and comments in a month.
Yeah,
that's the highest we've ever seen.
98,000. So, yeah, there's a lot of interaction that takes place on there. Comments.
I think it's like on Speedo, it doesn't go over 100.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it maxes out at that. But yeah, there's lots of things that people still. There's a lot of interactions on there, people helping one another on there, because it's not all about the cars being sold. It's also about, what cars people might be looking for. It could be just common advice that people need. There's all these things that that happen that don't happen on the app. And we're just trying to make sure that more happen on the app as the features and the benefits improve and get more, the sky's the limit. We've got lots of ideas to improve the app.
Yeah. No, it's great to hear, and it's great to hear the community will remain at the heart of what you do, because, like you say, that's how it all started, isn't it? Now, James, can I just turn to you and just get some of your views on what you're seeing in the used car market at the moment? I mean, you're at the coalface here, rapidly so. So, what kind of trends are you seeing? I mean, demand is obviously high. Are prices high as well?
I think demand is massively high. We still dip our toes in auctions with one of our other businesses, so I can see the prices that they're fetching are through the roof. I mean, to the extent that sometimes I look at some of the cars that we've got in stock and think, well, that car's just made more than I'm retailing that other one for. So how that's going to reflect in book prices in the coming months, I don't know, but there just seems to be a huge demand for stock, and it's a bonfire out there. People just can't get the right stock at the right money. Like, hence why I say stuff is selling so fast when we've got it. Even to the extent sometimes it can cause an argument with someone. Well, it's only playful, but well, I wanted that. But it's sort of it becomes a bit of a banter between the lads, and then they say, well, let me know when the next one's coming.
I think what we found was last year, I think everybody's in the same mindset that what happened last year when lockdown was released, it was right, all hands to the deck kind of thing, and everybody all of a sudden realised that there was a lot of trepidation and people not sure whether or not to get stock in, what was going to happen, are we going to sell cars, what's the market going to be like? Now, because of what happened last year, everyone seemed to be selling pretty much everything they could get their hands on, and I think that means now that people are more prepared for that this time around, and I think that they're more conscious of making sure that they've got the right stock, that they've got those cars in, and even realizing that perhaps, trying to roll with it, trying to realize that the stock that maybe they wouldn't have stocked, the kind of cars that they wouldn't have stocked a couple of years ago, look, let's just give it a go. We can't sell empty spaces. If we can't buy the stock that we want, let's give other stuff a go. And I think there's a lot of things like that happening at the moment. And to be honest with you, we still sell cars ourselves. There is a trend at the moment. I look at cars. You can look at cars sometimes and think, I'm going to be looking at that in the next couple of months, and it might sell in the next couple of days. These are the kind of things you've got to get your mind right. You've got to understand that what you thought wouldn't sell could possibly sell now. For instance, there's no vans around, so lots of commercials that are available, you just can't get hold of them. So I've noticed there's a lot of lads that are trading in vans now at the moment. They're giving them a go. to fill that gap.
Yeah. We also we noticed that the reason well, everything seems to be selling super fast via us as well, because we've got the no fee model. So whereas you can buy a car elsewhere and pay a fee for buying that car, not necessarily at auctions, but quite a lot of the platforms charge a buyer's fee. We don't have any fees, no fees for buying, no fees for selling. It's just a flat monthly subscription. So you've not got to factor that in. If you're going to overpay for something, at least you haven't, you've not got another £500 on top of that price.
Yeah. So how do you see all of this panning out through the summer? Do you just think we're just on an upward trajectory and we just see we're in for an exciting ride?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can be busy for that and I can get time to have a haircut, to be honest, since everybody seems to talk about it all the time. So I will try and have a haircut.
No comment.
I think for everybody, I think it needs to, you wonder where it's going to start to slow down, or, because maybe there is only a certain amount of stock coming through from certain places. I think seems to be that there's a shortage of new cars coming through, certainly a shortage of new vans coming through. I think some of the manufacturers are saying sort of May, June next year lead times. So, supply and demand, that's what it's like. So as long as there's a supply there, I can imagine that the prices will carry on to rise. But, everybody's just got to be trying the best and making hay whilst the sun shines. I think that's the only thing we can do right now, and try and make up for lost time for over the last year or so. Let's get some money back in the bank if we can.
Yeah, I think hopefully as well, new car sales will pick up again, because that has a massive impact in the used car market, which I don't need to tell anybody. But I know that there's been a massive reduction in new car sales over the last 12 months. So hopefully we'll see some of that coming back, which will feed down the line to all the rest of us, really.
I think it's about what cars obviously can come through from the factory, isn't it? I think there's people buying new cars. I think it's just the availability of them and what's coming through. Yeah. So we'll see.
There's money out there. There's lots of money out there. You just need to start spending it. Yeah. Everyone's that pent up demand for these vehicles, which we're seeing for the type of cars that are selling via our networks. Like I say, from a £500 Ford Fiesta to a £250,000 Rolls Royce. Just the people. There's somebody out there for that car.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, we're going to have to leave it there for today, I'm afraid, gents. But Ben, James, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, nice to speak again, and we'll see you in November.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to the update. And
I think we're all, everybody in the industry is looking forward to a party, I think. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Can't agree more. Well, for today, thanks very much indeed. And thanks for watching, and see you very soon. Bye-bye.